It's really 7-man rotation.
Okay.
Yeah, Marcus Henry at center, Archie Lewis, Mario Yaku, and Stephen Baggett working out the right side. Reese Adiambo, Travis Averill, and Eli McCullough working on the left side.
Okay.
And just trying to find the best combination.
So
of
the guys on the left and the right are playing guard and tackle?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
What
I mean, it's only day 3, so.
Yeah. What are you looking for as you're trying to find the 5
most
guys?
physical guys, the 5 that play the best. Today was first day in Shell, so it's kind of hard to know at this point.
Is there much of a difference for those guys between guard and tackle?
Yeah, each position has its own intricacies or what have you. But sometimes some guys are a little bit more natural at other. Sometimes it doesn't matter. We're just trying to figure out right now what the best combination is.
You guys slide Reese over to the left side, and wasn't out there in the spring, but kind of counting on him to lock that down.
Yeah,
and be
we
that next
are.
guy?
But just like all 3 of those guys that I mentioned before. We even have more guys than that. Don't get me wrong, but those were at least the front runners that we had kind of identified. You'd like to think that he can. And so, if not, Eli McCullough's coming on well. Travis Averill's doing well. Again, it's day 3. So
it was kind of 2 different seasons for him last year. The first half he was the starter. The second half Reese was banged up and kind of in and out. What did you see out of him last year that made you feel like he can get this done?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big dude, and he's very strong, good in the weight room, and he's athletic, and he definitely has the ability to do it. It's just mentally, can he transition? I guess your question was what we saw. I mean, you saw flashes that he can be really, really good. You definitely saw that, and you saw times where he was banged up and he didn't look really good. So hopefully we get him healthy, and at this point he's been good.
He wasn't out there this spring for installing the new offense. How did you sort of get him through that to make sure he's got what he needs to know going out here this fall?
Yeah, he's a student of the game. I mean, he's very detailed and he's on it. He's definitely not an older guy, but he's an older guy in our room. And there's a lot of the same concepts and stuff, and so he's able to catch on quick.
Coach Harsin was saying that the offensive and defensive lines are the 2 areas he wants to get settled first.
Yeah.
How quickly do you need to settle on 5?
I think that's a great question. I mean, we know we got to go through at least the first scrimmage and see some live bullets. And, drill work's great, but who can translate over onto the scrimmage settings or the more up-tempo stuff, higher anxiety stuff? Who can figure it all out? And so we're going to have one of those situations. Hopefully, we can figure it out sooner than later.
Do you feel confident with the mix of the 7 that you have that when you get to 5, you'll like the group you have?
Yeah, we will, and it's also good in case we have to do shuffling because Lord knows no one's going to stay healthy all year. I mean, that unfortunately it's football, and so at the same time you're letting those guys compete. Hopefully, you're building some depth for down the road if someone does get hurt, so you can. It's not a total. Everybody's played a little guard or played a little tackle. And it's not a total transition.
Who's the backup center right now?
Mason Hampton at this point. Andrew Tursick can play it too. Carl Burr can do it. Travis Averill can do it. So we've always got a little bit of a contingency plan, but you'd really like to get those guys settled in.
Obviously, you have a pretty good history of the offensive lines that have come through this place. Prior to last year, there was quite a few year stretch where they ranked in the top 10 for fewest sacks allowed and stuff. What made those lines so effective, and does this line or this group have similar qualities?
Yeah, one of the big things is that when Kellen was here, and really kind of the offense at that time when Coach Harsin was here, the quarterbacks did a really good job of getting rid of the ball on time, and that makes a huge difference. And you see a lot of the pro-style offenses, whether it's the NFL or if it's the college game, and you got those guys back there, and they're really trying to throw vertical routes, and sometimes they take some sacks, and they're a little bit more of a riverboat gambler mentality. We try to get. They've always preached to the quarterbacks, get the ball out on time, and hopefully we've done a good enough job protecting them that they can do that and make accurate throws, and hopefully we can keep that going.
How much has Marcus Henry grown since the spring?
Since the spring?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll say this. I felt like my group in particular, and I couldn't speak for the other groups, but I felt like those guys really did a great job this summer in terms of their overall football knowledge. The weight room stuff is showing up. They're bigger, they're stronger, and I really felt like we've hit the ground running from where we were at the end of spring in terms of their technique and skills, mental capacity from the end of spring. Not only coupled with the weight room and all the good stuff that they've done in there. So they've done a really good job. I was really proud of them.